Today, I want to share a story with you that I've never shared on a public channel ever. I've told some friends and I've told some clients from time to time when it came up and it was appropriate, but it's always scared me to share what I'm about to tell you, and it has to do with what I learned when I went to jail. And most people don't know that I had to spend a night in jail. I'm going to talk to you about that. I'm going to talk to you about what I learned. And I'm going to talk to you about how I was behaving before this happened and why it was one of the greatest gifts of my life. So I hope you enjoy the show.
Cowboy.
Welcome to a daily dose of greatness quest with your host Trevor Crane, my daddy. He is going to help you take your life and business to the next level.
Here I come to save the day.
Trevor Crane here, 11-time #1 best-selling author and the founder of Epic Author Publishing, coming to you live every day so you can plug in every day to build your ideal business so you can live your ideal life.
If my daddy can do it, then anybody can do it because he's a weirdo.
You're supposed to make me sound cool.
So I'm recording today's show on July 4th, and I don't know when you're listening to this. The earliest it would come out is July 5th because that's how I'm publishing my show right now. So whatever you listen to this, like the reason I decided to talk about this today is July 4th is about Independence Day. And there's a lot of things that I'd like to celebrate today, but it reminds me of a time when I did not have independence. I was behind bars. And I was scared for a long time. And like I just acknowledged, it's still a little bit scary to share this with you today because I'm scared about what you're going to think, to know that I had gone to jail. Now, over the last few years, I've met a lot of people that have been open and honest with me and authentic about the fact that they did something that they wish they hadn't done and that they had gone to jail for one thing or another for a lot more awful shit than I did. Like they fucked up in much bigger ways and they shared it openly. And I found that I did not judge them and that I actually honored them for having had the authenticity to share with me their story. And so I'm doing the same thing today, but see, I learned some things when I spent that day in that jail. Now, what did I do? So I was 18 years old. Like, how did I end up in jail? I'm going to share that with you quickly, and then what I was doing and how I was behaving and how now I'm experiencing freedom, where back then I was not. And it was something that scared me straight. But so at the time I had just turned 18 years old, and I had been running a pattern as a teenager of basically deciding that lying and stealing and cheating was the way I was going to get ahead. I grew up without a lot of money. I grew up with a lot of rich friends around me, and some of those friends started shoplifting when I was a teenager. And I learned that I could just go in and with a simple sleight of hand, I could grab a bag of chips. I could go ahead and grab freaking electronics, whatever the hell it is that I wanted. I could just go in and put it in my shirt or whatnot, and I could steal it. And I got into this habit of just thinking that if I wanted something, what I needed to do was be sneaky and lie and cheat and steal. And I'd lie and cheat and steal in school, and I'd lie and cheat and steal all around me. And it just became this pattern of I looked around like I was a predator, like and everybody had what I wanted, and the way to get it was to just take it. And it was a challenge, so I was really addicted to the challenge. And it was, but I don't know what it is, but and I've heard about people having addictions like this since then. At the time, I didn't really know what it was. But every time that I would try to stop stealing, I'd find myself with another fucking candy bar in my pocket. One time, I basically got caught, and thank God I got caught. I was in a Home Depot, of all things. Fuck it, I can't believe I'm going to tell you the whole story. This is in a Home Depot. And I loaded my cart full of all kinds of crap. At the time, I was living on my own. I was going to school. And I had done well at my junior college. And I had taken one or two classes at Arizona State University on the transfer. And I decided that, and what that did is that gave me a 4.0 grade point average going into a junior. As a junior at Arizona State. Now that only is because I got an A on one or two classes, but just before I was transitioning to Arizona State, because I didn't do necessarily that well at a junior college. But I put all of that on the line to go to this fucking Home Depot and just steal some shit. some stuff that I wanted, some stuff that I could use or some stuff that I could use or sell. And I just wanted stuff. Because I pushed this cart out of Home Depot with all this crap inside of it. And these guys chased me. And I ran away, and I got away. And I was fast. I ran across the street. I jumped this fence. I had this whole plan. I remember I was a sneaky little bastard. And so I had this whole plan to get away from them, and I got away. And I was hiding behind this fence, underneath this bush. I had this whole plan. And nobody knew where I was, and I was underneath that bush. And I was promising to God that I would never do this again. Like, if he could just help me get out of this, I would never do it again, which was a promise I had made many other times. And then gone back on that promise. And hiding underneath this freaking piece of plywood that was underneath this bush, that was up against this wall. Like, I was hidden, man. No one could have found me. Until, like, God gave me one of the greatest gifts ever. And that's that he had me poke my nose out and try to walk out, after a very short period of time. And the guys found me. And they handcuffed me. And they took me back to the Home Depot in the worst walk of shame I'd ever had. Handcuffs behind my back. And I just felt like one of the biggest losers on the planet, but not as bad as when they put me in the cop car, not as bad as when they took me down to the police station, not as bad as when they frickin' took mug shots of me, not as bad as when they took my fingerprints, not as bad as when they locked me in jail for the night with a whole bunch of fucking criminals. And I have never felt more worthless in my life than having spent 24 hours in a fucking cell where I have absolutely nothing to do, scared to fucking death that I'm going to get raped in prison from a whole bunch of people who've been fucking up. And all of the people that were around me in this jail seemed to be massive fuck ups compared to me. And all I did is I looked around at the future that I was going to get if I continued on the path of fucking trying to take shit from other people, of being a liar, a cheater, and a thief. And 24 hours later, they let me out of jail. A friend of mine had to go ahead, and I don't remember if they posted bail or they just let me go. I mean, it was a minor infraction of all things considered. But for me, as 18 years old, I was not a boy anymore. Apparently at 18, they call you a fucking man. Bullshit. I was a little fucking boy that was a pain in the ass. And thank God that fucking happened to me, because from that moment on, it's not like I never lied, and it's not like I never cheated, and it's not like I never stole. One would think I was scared straight that I would never fucking do that shit again, but my dumb ass, it had scared me straight, and for a period of time, I didn't want to fuck around anymore. And lying felt odd. It was hard to tell lies anymore, because I felt like I was a douchebag that was going to go back to jail, and I knew I needed to get my shit straight. I almost lost my academic scholarship. I almost lost everything. And fortunately, I was able to, as this young man, I went into court, and I didn't tell my mom, and I didn't tell my dad. I told one friend of mine that got me out of jail, because someone had to pick me up and sign some paperwork or whatever the hell it was, is the scariest fucking thing that ever happened to me. And over the next couple of years, things changed inside of me. Every time I tried to be a lying little motherfucker and do something wrong, it fucked me up inside. And I still would go back to this pattern. I got spanked. I got a big spanking, and it scared the shit out of me. But then I still wanted to go back into these old patterns. And I remember I planned some kind of fucking thing where a buddy of mine was going to use my credit card to buy some shit. And we were going to have more stuff. He was going to buy shoes or TV or fucking stereo or whatever we were going to do. And I was going to have an alibi and be someplace else. And I was at home when he was out buying shit on my credit card. And this is probably about a year after I did the whole thing in jail. And as soon as I knew this was going on, I freaked the fuck out. My conniving little ass was the one that came up with this plan. What a great plan. My boy, Trevor really learned his lesson. And what happened is my body freaking refused to accept that I would do this. My body rebelled against me. My body came to my fucking aid. I started hyperventilating. I fucking could. I broke out in a rash. I actually took pictures of myself at the time. I've never really seen them. I don't know what the hell happened to them. But I broke out in a rash that went all over my chest, my back, my legs, my neck. that was this red rash that came out of fucking nowhere. I couldn't fucking take it. I started panicking that I was gonna get fucking caught and end up in jail again. And again, this is one of those moments. It was one of those pivotal things for me. I knew, I called my friend and I said, look, I'll fucking call it off. I'll pay for everything. I'm not going to fuck this around. I physically can't be a liar, a thief, and a cheat any longer. I can't physically do it. I'm still a conniving little motherfucker apparently, but I just physically can't. The moment that I took that back and we stopped this fucking escapade, like the rash went away. Like within minutes, the rash went away. My heart calmed down from like a hummingbird to like something normal. And I was forever changed. It was the fear of going back with all those losers in jail. Now, why did I feel it necessary to share this with you today? I'm about to tell you. And I also, if you stick with me just a little longer here, I'm going to share with you a cool joke that I learned when I was in jail. So I'm going to share that with you right after I give you this lesson and a challenge today. So I believe that we're all in jail. I believe that we all have a jail that we've made for ourselves that limits us. Today on Independence Day, I'm thinking about those beliefs we have, those decisions that we have made, those things that we have created for ourselves that create these invisible walls that hold us back and keep us from our freedom, from our independence. Now, for me back in the day, to share this story with you, to have this is just my journey of like telling part of my truth, to maybe help you free up something to share your truth, because I believe we're all telling ourselves lies, which is it's hard for me to handle because I feel like I'm a man of integrity and I do my best to go and tell the truth. But my question for you today is, where in your life are you lying, cheating, or stealing? Where in your life are you lying, cheating, or stealing? And if you are thinking that you are not doing any one of those things, I would challenge you that you are wrong. If you look honestly at your life, you have to look a little closely. I just realized that I was doing this with myself, and I'll tell you one of the lies I was telling myself, that I'm doing the best that I can. Now this was making me feel good. Like I wake up early in the morning, I do the best that I can. And I try to perform well all day. I try to be a great husband. I try to be a great father. I'm always trying to improve. But I recognize that I'm doing the best that I can is a softener. I can always do more. I can always be better. And I was telling myself this lie, that I'm doing good enough, that I can't work any harder, that all I really want is just a little bit more of this and a little bit more of that. I was giving myself beliefs and excuses and limitations for what I really want versus having a bigger dream, versus believing in myself that I can accomplish anything. I've been setting small goals. I didn't even necessarily realize that I was doing it, but when I met this billionaire recently and he shared with me his goals of having tourism to freaking outer space and making disease optional and basically curing the diseases that a lot of humans are getting right now. Like I was like, holy shit, my dreams are small. What lies are you telling yourself? Because if you don't have the relationship that fires you up that you want, where you're making love to your significant other in such a way that all of your fantasies come true, and that you are lighting them up and you are a light in their life and they light you up and you are in love and you're passionate, then you can improve your relationship. And everything that you say, I'm fine, is fucking bullshit. You are lying and you are creating your own invisible prison of like, this is good enough, I'm happy enough, it's good enough. If you look in the mirror and you are not happy with what you see physically, and you're like, it's good enough, I have enough energy, I'm good enough. That's a fucking lie. There are areas that you need to improve. Do you have the energy that you can improve, that you want? Most people don't sleep well. Most people don't eat well. Most people are tired. Most people are on medication. Where in your life are you lying, cheating, and stealing from yourself? And be honest. I was honest with you today. I shared with you something that scares the shit out of me. I don't want to tell you what a little shithead I had been. But when I was lying and cheating and stealing, I was hurting one person more than anybody else, and it was me. Where are you lying and cheating and stealing from yourself? Oh, I don't need money. I don't care about money. I'm more interested in impact and helping people and all that. Well, I'll tell you a little secret about poor people. If you want to help them, don't be one. Don't be a poor person. If you have a lot of money and abundance, that's an example, that's an adult report card of the amount of value that you have brought into other people's lives. And if you look in your bank and say, I've got enough, you are fucking lying. Our purpose on this planet is to expand. Our purpose on this journey of life is to grow and become more so that we can be more and do more and have more and give more and hopefully make this world a little bit better place than when we showed up. So where in your life are you lying? Are you cheating and you're stealing from yourself or one of your loved ones? Are you really present when you're with your friends or your family or your kids? Or are you thinking about where else you should be? And what else should you be doing? And your kids are boring. And you're just listening to your wife or your husband drone on about the same fucking shit and you leave the reservation. My wife and I have this thing. Sometimes one or the other of us will not be present. We fucking leave the reservation. My wife is like addicted to, in my opinion, she's addicted to her damn cell phone. Like we'll be talking about something, we come up with something, and she's such an action taker. She gets this idea. We talk about what we want to accomplish or what it's going to cost to go on a plane trip to go to someplace, and she opens her phone and she starts looking it up. And then she leaves the reservation. I'm in the middle of a sentence and she'll leave the reservation. Where are you leaving the reservation? Your homework today, your challenge today is to go ahead and be honest about this and to write it down. To pull out your success journal and write this shit down. Be honest about where you are lying and cheating and stealing from yourself. And then you're probably listening to this after July 5th or beyond. So this is my invitation to you to have your own new Independence Day. And to get real with what it's costing you and hurting you. See, when I was put behind bars, it became real. I looked around me and I looked about the people that I was going to be hanging out with if I kept on this fucking path of lying and cheating and stealing. Like I said, I think we do this to ourselves all the time. These self-imposed walls that we put on ourselves, and I would give you a challenge to try to tell the truth and to give yourself some freedom. Now, tomorrow I want to share with you a formula that I'm currently using to have it all. To have the body that I want and the health that I want, to have the relationship that I want, to build the business that I want, and have the spirituality and my connection with my creator and whatever that means to me about peace of mind and happiness, how I can have all four of those things. And this is not me telling you how cool I am. It is a formula that someone else gave me. It is a recipe that I see is working for him and a lot of other men. And I'm going to introduce you to this strategy. Now, women can use it too, so this is cool for you. But I want you to have it. It is a formula for how you can have it all. And how you can have it all starting today. Starting tomorrow when I give it to you. So I hope you join me on that podcast. Now, I promise to tell you a joke. And this is a joke that I learned when I was in jail. So there was a funny moment when everyone was going around when we were in jail and telling jokes. And this one joke stood out to me, and I sometimes tell it well, sometimes tell it poorly, but I'll give it to you because it's a joke I learned in jail. I don't think I've ever even told anybody that before, that's where I learned this joke. So, okay, there's this cowboy, and the cowboy is riding across the range on his mighty steed. Loves this horse. He's riding across the range, and he gets captured by Indians. And the Indians are going to scalp him. They're going to kill him, and they're going to kill him at sundown. They've got this dance going on, and the cowboy is like, he's trying to find a way out. And so he doesn't speak Indian, but he's trying to talk to them and communicate. And they find somebody that speaks white man language. And so the Indian comes over, and the cowboy's trying to get out of this. And he goes, "Hey, where I come from, we were given a last request, before we're sacrificed, before we're killed. And the Indians are like, well, they look at their watches and they say, the sun's not going to go down for a while. So sure, cowboy, what's your last request? And he said, well, I'd like to talk to my horse. And the Indians look at each other. They're kind of confused. They're like, all right, brother, so go talk to your horse. So cowboy walks over, pulls the horse's head down, whispers into the horse's ear, and the horse runs off across the plains like leaves. And the Indians look at each other confused. They're like, all right, okay, go crazy cowboy, fine. Well, next thing you know, this horse comes back running across the plains, but it's not alone. It has a naked blonde girl on the back of this horse. And the Indians are looking at themselves like they can't believe what just happened. The cowboy takes they give the cowboy some privacy. They give him his own teepee and takes him into the teepee, takes this girl in the teepee, and you know what happens. He has his way with her. And the Indians think this is hilarious. They're listening outside there. They're like, this crazy, horny cowboy. What he wants for a last request is some booty. Like, man, that's a smart horse. And so they come out and they are laughing. They think this is hilarious. They still have a little bit more time before sundown. And they say, you know what, cowboy, we're going to give you one more. You're like, what would you like? If you had one more last request, that was hilarious. What else would you like before we kill you at sundown? And the horse and the cowboy says, well, I'd like to talk to my horse again. The cowboys are like, oh my God, this crazy, horny cowboy, how the hell okay, fine, go talk to your horse. So the cowboy pulls the horse's ear down, whispers in the horse's ear, God damn it, I said posse, not pussy. And that's a joke. All right. So if you like today's show, please go to iTunes and give me some love on iTunes. Please share this with somebody else that you think that the show might make a difference to. We're on today's, I think, episode number 95 of the Daily Dose of Greatness Quest. We're pretty proud of it and would love your help on giving us a review on iTunes. And if you do that and you take a snapshot of your review and you share it with us on social media or you shoot me an email to support@trevorcrane.com, I'm going to send you a link to get one of my books for free. It's my favorite book right now, one that I have a lot of people find just magically on Amazon. It's called High Paying Clients. It's about how to attract and convert and keep cool, high-paying clients. I can't wait to give you a bunch of money for all your cool awesomeness. I know you're going to love that book. And if that's not your book for you, just ask me and I can send you one of my other books. It's my thank you if you leave us a nice review or just a review of any sort. If you think I suck, I guess you can review that as well. But all right, make today magnificent, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow where we're going to talk about how you can have it all.
To get even more awesomeness, which means all my best stuff, download my app by texting Trevor to 36260. It will show up right on your cell phone. Just text message the word Trevor to 36260. Talk to you soon.